You're tuned in to The Thinking Class with Lawrence D. Adams. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. Today, we're talking about I can't break down, so I'm breaking inside. I can't break down, so I'm breaking inside. So we're going to talk about that today. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like, share as we go into this. Most men are trained to keep it all together no matter what. But beneath the surface, many are quiet, collapsing under the pressure. This episode is for men who are tired of pretending and ready to rebuild, not through breakdown, but through honest presence. So we want men to really grab a hold to what I'm saying today. Realize that this is not just for everyone. This is definitely for men who are ready to go to the next level. So most men are trained to keep it all together no matter what. And you know what's interesting? Our society has trained men to keep it all together and maintain this status quo. And in reality, I see a lot of men. I heard a story last night of a gentleman. We'll talk about it later. And what's happening is they're crumbling on the inside of them. They have to be strong for everyone around them, but no one asks them what's going on inside of you. And we wonder why a lot of men crumble under the pressure of life or under stress. Their health is suffering. It's because who is asking them what's going on with them? So men are trained to keep it all together, but beneath the surface, many are quietly collapsing under the pressure. Let me say that again. Many of them are collapsing underneath the pressure, either with mental health, physical health, and most of all, spiritual health. I'm seeing some people who internalize this and they go on a whole spiritual trajectory that's completely crazy. Some of them go on a mental trajectory that they're often left field. And we see other men who deal with it and their health begins to decline. I can't break down, so I'm breaking inside. And we have paint this picture that every man needs to be. I said last week, put on every man need to be Superman, but I need you to be really honest about who you really are and what's really going on with you. The first point is the invisible weight that most men carry. The invisible weight that most men carry. The unspoken rule: be the rock, solve it all, show no weakness. How many of you men can agree you heard that or living that right now? The unspoken rule: be the rock, solve it all, show no weakness. The invisible weight that most men are carrying. Success can be lonely, especially when everyone thinks you're good. Silence becomes your prison, but it starts as protection. So let me break this down. A lot of men are carrying the weight of life. Their kids, their wife, their kids, the wife, the job, the money. I got to make six figures. I got to do this. I got to be this person. If I'm not 6 feet tall, or I got to be make six, I got to be 6'6". All that stuff is weighing down. They're carrying things, invisible expectations that don't add up to nothing. I done seen men who have just decided to delete themselves. I've seen some men who decided I'm not going to deal with women at all because they're living the expectations of what they think or what society tells them what a man is. So they carry this invisible weight and it is tearing them up on the inside. I'm talking to you, brothers. Are you carrying this invisible weight? Are you allowing society to say, this is what you should be doing because you're a man? The invisible weight that so many men are carrying, they don't talk about. Who do you go to when things inside is not added up on the things on the outside? Let me get this. I see something. I love it. Who do you go to when everything, the weight of the unspoken rules, you the be the rock? We already talked about you can't go nowhere to cry to, but who do you go to when you need to let it all go? A lot of men have not tapped into, and I'm gonna say this because this is very relevant. A lot of men have not come to grips of what they really want in life because they're in the process or they've been in the place of giving everyone else what they want in life. A lot of men have been giving everyone else what they want in life, but who and have you been pouring back into you and what you need from life? What's going on? Good to see you. Have you been pouring back into you? A lot of men give, but they have not given to themselves. They haven't taken the time to love themselves, to care for themselves. So they carry this invisible weight and then get mad because it's so heavy. And then gets mad because it's so heavy. Who told you to carry all that? But the focus I want to get on is a lot of men don't take the time to actually care for themselves. Do you do self-care? Do you take the time to pour back into you, to read, study, walk, whatever it is, to pour back into you? The reason why a lot of men are carrying this invisible weight because they don't know how to say this one word. I heard you last night, and that's how to say no. Nope, I can't do it. Many men are in the place of just being yes men and not knowing how to say no for the sake of, I can't do that. Unable to go there. I'm not going to be able to do it because they're afraid of disappointing the other person. They're afraid to what? Disappoint the other person. So what they do is they say yes to everything, and the weight that they're carrying they're not supposed to be carrying. Many examples of that is the silent CEO, the responsible dad, the emotional disconnected husband. Uh-oh. The emotional disconnect husband, the silent CEO, the responsible dad. Why? Because I can't break down, so I'm breaking inside. Mhm. Let me read this right here. If the Son of God has to pray to his Father, men will never make it until they also learn how to pray to the Father. Correct. Great point. Great point. That's when it comes to I'm glad you said that. Cast your cares on the Lord, for He cares for what? For you. The invisible weight that you're carrying, you don't have to carry. Let me read what William wrote. It's unfortunate that whenever we as men treat ourselves well, we internalize guilt. It's time to love ourselves as we love others. Sometimes a breakdown is a breakthrough. That right there is powerful. Let me read this, that one point right there. It's unfortunate that when we as men treat ourselves well, we internalize guilt. Guilt and shame. I shouldn't be doing this for myself. If I do this, this ain't right. Someone's gonna go without. I don't care what level that you at, you are internalized that if I do something good for myself, I feel guilty about it. I remember when I was younger, it was a thing for me to just to get some. I wanted nice clothes, and I remember the situation was a family member was like, "Oh, you need to take care of that, this and that, and you just go here and get some cheap clothes." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I followed what they said. So I felt guilty for getting something nice because of what was this family member told me, and I had to make sure I get out of that mindset that it's okay for me to do something for me. Let me say that again. I had to get out of that mindset and that guilt and shame, like you said, internalize that I need to do. It's okay for me to do something for me because a lot of men, and I'm saying this from experience, past experience, we've been so trained to do for everyone else that we forget to do for ourselves. We've been so trained to do for everyone else, but we forget to do for what? Ourselves. How many men are in that place right now where they do not take the time to do anything for them? So they internalize the guilt and the shame. And what they do is they begin to blame women, they begin to blame God, they begin to blame everything around them instead of looking in the mirror and taking responsibility. Have you poured inside of yourself today? Shame is the swampland of the soul. I apologize. I smell his name. Yep. Brown, Mr. Brown. Yep. The shame of taking care of you. See, a lot of people pretend on these social media streets like they're taking care of themselves. I got the gold chain, I got the car, but are they really pouring into their soul? The external fixings or the cars and the women and the houses and all like that, that's all good and that's all good. But what really matters is your soul fed? Have you poured inside of you? Have you taken the time to find out what do you need? I remember when I was living in Atlanta and I had the apartment and everything. I would take myself on Fridays and go to Zaxby's. I would sit down and order 3 chicken strips, fries, and an Arnold Palmer. I would sit in a certain spot inside of the restaurant, Zaxby's, and actually take my time and eat the food. Why was I doing that? I was taking that time to celebrate me for going to work and doing something. I poured into me. How many of you are taking the time to pour, especially you men, taking the time to pour into you? How can someone else pour into you if you have not poured into yourself? How can you water someone else if your cup is empty? How can you even do that, like you said, if you're internalizing guilt and shame? A lot of men are living with the guilt of shame of taking care of them, taking of feeling guilty that they want to do something for themselves. Why can't why can't falling apart? Why you can't fall apart, but you are? You don't explore, you don't explode, you leak. Mood swings, emotional numbness, withdrawal. Let me read those again. You don't explode, you leak. How are you leaking? You're leaking with mood swings, emotional numbness, withdrawal. Those are all symptoms. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Wow, thank you. Oh, wrong thing. Thank you so much. My new single, Jehovah drops. Please support and get a copy by Prophetess. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Will do. Most men don't explode. You leak. Mood swings, emotional numbness, and withdrawals. Distractions become sedation. Work, drinking, scrolling. You doing all those things to distract from what's really going on inside of you. You fear if you fall apart, there's no one to help you up. You fear if you fall apart, there's no one to help you fall to pick you up. And what's happening is like the brother said, a breakdown can lead to a breakthrough. Your fear if you fall apart, if I fall apart and everything's who's going to help me? Three. The first step to rebuilding, start with radical honesty with yourself. Start with radical honesty with yourself. Some of you guys need to be completely honest and take responsibility to what's going on in your life. Start with radical honesty with yourself. No mask, no shame. The moment you become honest with yourself of where you at, what's going on, how you're carrying the weight, how you're falling apart and you're leaking because of the mood swings, emotional numbness and withdrawal, guess what's going to happen? Once you face it, you can walk what? From it. Or you can walk once you face that situation, now you can find the answer to it. One of the things I'm realizing is a lot of men, they say they want the game, I want the women, I want this, I want the cars, and all. Okay, you may have gotten all that. But if you're not being honest with yourself first, everything else becomes an illusion. You have to be completely honest with yourself first. No mask, no shame. So you need to be honest and say, let this one truth land. I'm tired. I feel alone. This isn't working. Let me say that again. Let this one sit with you right quick. Be honest about where you at. I'm tired. I'm not feeling this. This doesn't taste good. I don't like this. I do like this. I think this is wonderful. You need to be honest about where you are in the present. Stop trying to escape it, or either you're trying to escape it by going into the future, or you're trying to alleviate it by looking in the past. Be honest about where you are right now. I don't like this. I don't feel good. I actually feel good. I want to go on a walk. No, I don't want to do this. When you begin to get honest with yourself first, that is the key to get you to the next level to rebuild. Let me read this. Radical honesty, self-honesty. Yes. Facts, LDA. I appreciate your parts in my life. I appreciate your part in my life struggle. I own it, and things got better. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's because when you say, "Hey, this is where I'm at." If you are lost in the forest and people are looking for you, and you have a phone that's completely charged, and it's at night, and there's bears, there's wolves, there's foxes, there's all these things around you. And I want you to really get what I'm saying. But you never take the time to dial a number or call someone to tell them where you are at. How can they ever find you and bring you into safety? Most men are going through life, through the force of life, with bears and foxes and things going on around them. They never pick up the phone and say, "This is where I'm at. Come get me. I need help." And get rid of all the toxic people out of your life, including family. Pray for them, but go. That's facts. That's facts right there. Too many men are in the forest of life in pitch darkness. They have the ability to say something or to call someone, but they never pick up the phone and say, "This is what's going on with me." And so what happens is they suffer in silence only to live a life that doesn't matter. And you're right, you have to get rid of the toxic people. Whew. Even if it's family. You got to think, does this person add or subtracts from my life? But let me make sure make sure I get this right. You have to say where you are. Where are you in this world? Where are you planted? What is going on with you right now? So most men come on here looking for game, looking for a strategy because they're looking for a distraction from what's going on with them. I know, I've been there. When you can identify honestly with yourself, this is where I'm at, this is what I feel, this is what I'm going through, guess what happens? Life begins to open up to you and guide you into the right way to get you out of the force of life or out of the woods of life. But this ain't for everyone. I realize this message ain't for everyone because we don't want to believe that men break down. We don't want to believe that men go through things. We don't want to believe that men they being strong, but they're good. And I'm here to tell you that's not the truth. It's not weakness when you say you need the help. That's like I said, that's where strength begins. That it is not weakness to say, "Hey, this is where I'm at. I don't know." I have no problem stopping. So most men, I'm guilty of it. We're going a trip from A to B, but somehow we got sidetracked and we refused to go to the gas station and ask, how do I get to B? Because of our ego and our pride. I have no problem stopping at the gas station. Hey, I'm trying to get to this location. How do I get there? The wealthy and the rich, what they do is to shorten the distance from A to B, they hire somebody or they pay someone to shorten the distance to where they need to go. Let me say that again. The wealthy and the rich, if they're trying to get from A to B and they want the shortest distance, they hired somebody to teach them how to get from A to B in the shortest amount of time and make sure that person is qualified to take them to that place. Now, if you are there emotionally or spiritually, you need somebody to get you from A to B the fastest way. They do not mind paying the cost so that it shortens the distance for them. That's why it's not weakness. It's weakness for those who don't see the value of bringing somebody in to help you get to where you need to go. Do you know how much I'm paid, how many books, people I talk to that pour to me to shorten the distance for me from getting from A to B? Because I was first honest about where I was at. I'm right here. I'm right here. This is where I'm at. How do I get to B quickly? Not only does it shorten the distance, but also the key point is this: you have to be able to willing to put in the work. One of the things I was talking to Chat GPT, and it said something to me. I was like, hey, my stomach been hurting, blah, blah, blah. One of the first things it said, because I wanted relief, you eat too fast. Slow down. A to B distance. I had to identify, be honest about where I was at. And the first thing it says, you eat too fast, you need to slow down. I said, wow. Because I'm always gonna go, I'm on 10,000 all the time. That right there is not a weakness, it's actually the beginning of strength. That's the beginning of it. I was able to say exactly where I was at. I wasn't hiding about what was going on. That's what makes a difference. Real strength, wanting more than survival. Survival isn't your destiny. Let me say this very clearly. My goal is to get men out of survivor mode. What's going on? What's going on? LDA to you and my young brother. Good to see you. A lot of men are in what? Survivor mode. I'm just trying to make it through. I'm just trying to get to here. Get your assets out of survival mode. This channel ain't for you if you're trying to be in survival mode. If you're just trying to just barely making it, you got to turn off, go to a different channel. If you look for somebody to hold your hand and it's gonna be all right, this ain't for you. This is for this is to cut the slack out of you and say, get there now. I remember I had a coach in junior high school for track. His name was Mr. Coates. And he said we were conditioning for track season. And what he would do is, you don't want this old man to beat you. And one time he did beat us. What he was doing was is cutting the slack and the excuses that we had about conditioning and how it was hard. You need someone who's already did it to push you to the next level. Cut the slack out. Get out of survival mode. When my money tight and everything ain't right. Get yourself out of survival mode. Get it to the place where you know what? I'm not bracing this survivor mentality. Well, the government's doing this and that's doing that. Get yourself out of the survivor mode. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jonathan W. Salute LDA and the thinking class, just checking in from work. Keep up the good energy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Man up, right. We have too many men who are in survivor mode, and just the thing. I said something recently, about a couple months ago on a thinking class. I don't think everybody caught it, and I shared it with my sons. We're not here to hustle, survival mode, or pay Peter to pay Peter to pay Paul, Paul to pay Peter. No, get out of that mindset of survivor, and we're hustling. No, this ain't for you if you're trying to hustle. Cut clean out of the LDA thinking class, all that out of that. We ain't here to hustle. We're here to thrive, especially when you got the what? Right tribe. The right tribe will push you to the next level just by being in the right space. I know I'm sort of veering off, but I got to say, because I got to get guys out of survivor mode. You got to get guys out of this survivor mode. When you get into the right group of people and the right environment, or like governor would say, the environment is always prophesying. It's always telling you what's going on. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to push you out of the survivor mode. So if you're here to think about you trying to get some game on surviving and hustling, this ain't it. This ain't it. That ain't even me. Not trying to hustle. Not trying to, be real cool and no. That's not it. When a man gets to the next level in his life, he realizes there's more than just hustling. That was for a season, but now you need to go into the season where you are walking in your purpose and your destiny for what you're called to do. We have too many people on the social media streets who are talking about always hustling, surviving, street life. I'm just part of the street life, man. When you gonna grow up out of the street life? I'm not knocking it. I know I got people that listen and people are part of it, but when you gonna grow up past that? Real strength, wanting more than survival. Survival isn't your destiny. Let me look right in this camera and look at you. Survival is not your destiny. If you still have a survival hustling mentality, you're on the wrong channel. Don't even watch, don't even listen. I already said this ain't for everyone. Because what happens is when you have a hustling survival mentality, you begin to attract people just like that. And you wonder why you're getting hustled and why they're always in a survival mode. The moment I begin to make the decision to come out of hustling or hustling mode or mindset or survival mode, guess what happened? The people around me either stayed or they left. Plain and simple. The moment I decided that no, that's not in my vocabulary, that's not in my mindset. I'm not saying that I don't need to work hard, that I don't need to put my reps in, but I'm not in the hustle mindset. Guess what happened? People begin to drop out of my life. Forget surviving. We need to be living. Correct. As my sister said earlier, some people you need to let go out of your life. One of those people, some of those people, let me identify those people. I'm always in a survivor mode. I'm always hustling. They're looking for the next great money project. If you put 5 cents with 2 cents and you ask 5 people, they're looking for the next thing that's going to make them rich. And they have not become rich first in their minds. They still have a survival mentality. Watch out for those people who don't want to put in the work, who's always looking for a quick fix, quick paycheck way to get something. They will pull you down. The moment I got that out of my mind and my spirit, people begin to drop off. What does this have to do? I can't break down if I'm broken aside because I'm identifying what you've been doing in the on 3 o'clock in the morning because you've been thinking about I need to survive, and it's breaking you down. It's tearing you up inside. Your presence should outweigh your performance. People should feel when you come in a room. I said this last week, and it tilts. You deserve more than being everyone else's hero while dying inside. Let that sit right there. You deserve more than being everyone else's hero while you're dying inside. Some of y'all are Captain Saver, you know what? Because you're trying to save everyone else while you yourself are dying inside. You're trying to solve everyone's problems. You're trying to go to every event. You're trying to do everything only while you are dying inside. How many men, CEOs, mid managements are dying inside because they're trying to be everyone's hero? No, I'm not LDA. I'm not trying to be everybody's hero. I'm trying to network. I'm trying to make myself known. I'm trying to move up in the community. I'm trying to do this. You ain't fooling nobody. You're dying inside. You're suffering inside. You go to sleep and you can't even go to sleep because you're trying to be everyone's hero. What's going on? Good to see you. What's up, brother? The community usually don't appreciate the manly heroes. No, they please say that for the back of the room. They don't what? Appreciate it. A doormat for everybody else instead of putting your foot down. Come on. That's what I'm saying. You breaking down inside because you're trying to be everyone's hero. You standing on the block. I'm Superman. I come to save everyone. No, no, no. I said this this week, and I said it before. If you become the savior to somebody, you're bound to go to the cross. You deserve more than trying to be everyone else's hero, only for you to be dying inside. And how many men gonna be real honest in saying that they're really dying inside while they trying to hold up to them for everyone else? Mentally, spiritually, physically, they are dying inside. Oh, I see them. They try to pretend that, I got the gold chain, I got the car, I got the women, I got the game, man. And all the while, oh, I got mid management right now. Or I got the office on the side with the windows, and you can see the whole city. But they're dying inside. They got the house, but ain't nobody in it. But they're dying inside. They got the Jordan sneakers from the beginning to the end, and the new ones, but they are dying inside. What's going on, Alfie? How many men have did all these things trying to beat everyone else's hero, but they're dying inside? I've seen it too many times. I've been on these social media streets since 2000, longer than that, really 2007. But they're dying. I've seen too many men go up in flames trying to be everything to everyone, trying to be the hero in everyone's story, but they're dying inside. Not only are they dying inside, they're actually crying inside. Facts. Unfortunately, men are constantly convinced that they are meant to suffer. Oh my, oh my God, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. That's right there. Unfortunately, men are constantly convinced that they are meant to suffer. Who in the rabbits, Bugs Bunny told you that men are convinced they are meant to suffer? That right there. Too many men believe that my masculinity says I gotta suffer. Brother, please. Who told you that you gotta be convinced? I love that, William, that you're meant to suffer, that you're meant to, I just gotta grind it out. No, no, no. Too many men. I didn't coach men. I didn't talk to men on the streets. I didn't talk to them at the church. I didn't talk to them at the mall, at the grocery store, and not just men and women. They're convinced that they got to be the hero. They got to prove that they're not like everyone else, and they're dying inside. Their health is failing. Their mental capacity is shot. I can't break down, so I'm breaking inside. So many men. Who is addressing that? Shout out to Dr. Husan, who does address it, and other men on this on YouTube. But who's really taking the time to say, "Hey, man, you okay? You good, fam? You good? You deserve more than being everyone else's hero while you're dying inside." Leadership start was with alignment, not appearance. Leadership starts with what? Alignment and not appearance. True leadership starts with alignment, that you are aligned what? Mentally, spiritually, inside. You get off of this train of being someone's hero. See, I got quiet, right? I want you to really get that, because the moment you make a mistake, the moment you sin or you do something, they're ready to crucify you. I heard a story last night of a gentleman. He helped all these people out. The moment he mess up, get sick, they turn his back on him. They didn't even come to visit him. I only know of one individual who did visit this particular gentleman to make sure he was good, make sure him and his wife was good. After that, and he ended up dying. He ended up dying with him and his wife. Well, he died and his wife is still alive, and he ended up dying, and no one even know. They don't even want to call his name. Don't allow that to be you. You don't have to break all the way down to change. You just have to stop pretending that everything is fine. You don't have to break all the way down to change. You just have to stop pretending everything is fine. How many of you guys going to be honest with me today, or be honest with yourself today and say, I don't need to break all the way down and like down to the last, you just broke down, you cried on the side of the road and you doing all that. But you just got to stop pretending that everything is fine. Stop saying everything is fine when you know it's not fine. When you know you angry, that you know you upset. You know that you're upset. The moment you do that, you become free. I'm sort of with William. I think a lot of men want to suffer and they don't want to be free. I think a lot of men love to suffer and they don't want to be free so they can play the victim. So they can get on social media streets, and these women like this, and the society's like this, and the government's doing this, and Trump's doing this, and Biden's doing this. So they can come on here and complain. I ain't seen so many, I ain't never seen so many men complaining. Last week we said we seen so many men gossiping, but so many men complaining, and this ain't going right, and they ain't doing this. I seen so many men complaining. Stop your complaining and actually do something. Take care of yourself. Well, you know what? When you have a purpose and a destiny, what you're called to do, complaining is no longer an option. When you had a destiny and a purpose and something that you higher and bigger that you're called to do, complaining becomes not even an option. You don't have to break down all the way down to change. You just have to stop pretending everything's okay. It's time to come back home to own your voice, your present, and your truth. It's time to come back home to own your voice, your presence, and your truth. When are you going to own your presence, your voice, and your truth? When are you going to stop pretending that everything's good? This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. If you have any questions right now, it's the perfect time to ask questions. I think if Alpha, you still here, I've been trying to see if I can, where the link at? I think you wanted to, we supposed to come up. I think I copied it. I did copy it. Here we go. Paste. I think I could do this here. But yeah, it's time to come back home. Stop suffering in silence. Suffer in silence, guess what's going to happen? No one's going to care. Once I stop from screaming, let me read this. Once I stopped screaming that I was good, a good man, and just became a great man, I relaxed in my life. Correct, right there. Once I stopped screaming that I'm a good man and just became a great man, I relaxed in my life. That right there. Every man needs to come to the point where they do a true assessment, inventory about where they are at mentally, spiritually, and physically. Like in some areas, I want to work on physically. I was at the gym, but I'm like, I'm not. I need to make some adjustments. I want to get to another level. I see my diet. I want to change that. I'm taking this out. I've seen some areas I want to change in my mindset. Let me change it and adjust that. A man should be at a place where he's comfortable where he is, but he's always adjusting to where he can be better. The breakdown for a lot of men is that they never tell anyone what's going on with them. Who do you have to share what's going on with you for real? Who do you have to actually express, won't tell your secrets about what's going on with you for real? Where do you go? Or do you distract yourself with social media? Do you distract yourself with drinking? Do you distract yourself with porn? Do you distract yourself by going to church? Uh-oh. Do you distract yourself by putting more hours at the job? Do you distract yourself by not pretending that it's there? Oh, I'm fine. Everything's good. In reality, you know everything ain't good. Where do you go, man? Who do you call? What do you do at 3 o'clock in the morning when your mind won't go? You're laying in bed, but your mind won't shut off. That's who I'm talking to. That's who I want to get at. The pain of you realizing that you're breaking down, but you can't afford to break down because everyone's depending on you. Where do you go? Or do you pretend? This sounds like you lived through it all. Let me say, I didn't live through a lot. Where do you go? Who do you talk to? Or do you hide it? Or do you hide by chasing the next success or that woman? What do you really do? Or do you pretend like everything is fine and you smile and you know that you are really dying inside? Where are you, man? I'm sending the GPS out to you right now with this particular broadcast. We're sending the search dogs looking for you, man. Where is your soul? Are you hiding behind your title at your job? Are you hiding because of the job that you do have, or the car that you do have, or your status in a certain community? Where are you for real? Where's your soul? I'm talking to the little boy inside of you who's crying and said, I'm here. I'm here. I'm talking to the man who has obtained six figures plus. He has the house, he has the cars, he has the wife, but secretly, he's breaking down inside because he doesn't have access to his own soul. Where are you, man? Your bank account looks good, but you have no presence. You have no voice. No one really respects you. Where are you really, man? Where is your soul? Where are you? Are you hiding with the next drink? Are you hiding behind the beer? Are you hiding behind the cigar? Are you hiding because you're trying to stay in the community and be positive, but secretly your soul is dwindling away like an old flower that is past its time? Where are you, man? Where is your soul? Why are you breaking down in silence when someone is asked can help you get to the next level? Where are you? I'm talking to a particular man right now who is looking for their soul. They're running through life doing all these things, but they have no connection to who they are. They have listened to what their parents said they should do. They didn't listen to what the teacher said that they should do, what the counselor said they should do. They're in a job that they hate to do. You're in a job that you even hate to do, and it's breaking you down inside. But you got to keep it together because you got these bills, you got this, you got this house, you got this car, you got everything, but you're keeping it all together. But secretly, you're breaking down inside because your soul is not connected. Ah, there you go. There you go. Presence without presence. Correct. Where are you, man? You go through social media and you go to get more information, and the more information you get, the deeper you fall into depression, shame, and guilt. Where are you, man? Where is your soul? What if I get some game and I get a woman that will satisfy me? It never does. What if I get this new house? I'll feel better, but it never satisfies you. Where are you? You're breaking down inside. I'm on a ship right now. You're in the storm, and I'm sending I'm shooting out a life raft to you, trying to save you to bring you back in. You need your voice back. You need your presence back. You need who you are back, back to who you are. That's why the food doesn't taste the way it needs to taste. That's why the skies are not as blue as they should be, because you have lost you. You're breaking down. I can't break down, but I'm breaking down inside. Where are you? Well, I look good on social media, but secretly you're breaking down inside. You are dying inside. No amount of game or strategy will definitely help you until you admit this is where I'm at. Until you are willing to pay the price to get the transformation that you need in your life. Until you are willing to pay the price to get the transformation in your life, you will die the same. You will stay the same. You will grow old and you will have regrets. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, didda. I wish I coulda did that. And guess what? Life will pass you by. One of the biggest things that you have to share this with my sons is your time. Don't play with my time at all. It's more valuable than even money. But why are you wasting your time if your soul is dying inside? Why are you wasting your time if you're dying inside? Some men would never come back to the shore. They'd rather be out there because they think it's more s- special to be out there and play the victim than to face the fact that they are lost. How many of you men are really lost? You guys need to get a coaching call. You need to look at. You need to get one of the. Matter of fact, if you never get it, I'm not even trying to sell anything. I'm just presenting the opportunity to you. I have several books out there: The Power of Believing in Yourself. I have The Secret Invisible Crown. I have other. I have a coaching call. If you need to get back in touch with you, you need somebody who's been there. I've been there. Do you hear me? I have been there. I walked the dark nights of my soul and the dark nights on the streets. So I'm not sitting here like, I have it all together. No, I'm sitting here to say, I am a man who has journeyed before you to push to get you to where you need to go. I have journeyed before you to help you get to where you need to go. You don't, why are you suffering silence when you have a guide who's already walked the path that you need to walk? I don't understand it. When we went to Ultra Rio last month, we got off the boat, we got a guide to show us how to move around Ultra Rio, Jamaica. You can go by yourself, but I wouldn't advise you to do that if you don't know the locals and if you don't know how to move around, because you, and anywhere, any place, but I'm talking about Ocho Rio, Jamaica, you can get taken advantage of. And some of you men are in life being taken advantage of because you, in your pride, is stopping you from getting a guide or getting a person to help you get to the next level. Shout out to, his name was RJ. He took us from one destination to the next destination. He waited. He took us to get some good Jamaican food, some good jerk chicken and oxtails and curry, and he get all that. He was able to guide us to where we need to go. Some of you guys need a guide or someone, a coach, to get you to where you need to be at. Why sit there in the dark of life and be taken advantage of and suffer by yourself? That's why I have the power of believing in yourself. The secret invisible crown. To get you to look at yourself and say, hey, I got to do this. This message is for you. I want you to like and share. Catch me next week as we begin to talk more about getting back to who you are. And stop lying to yourself. What the song say? Ain't no future in your front. But where are you? I want you to leave a comment after this video and share it with those who need to hear it. This is Lawrence D. Adams. You know when this music comes on? Get out of here. Peace. Make sure if you want to get that coaching, you want to get that book, ebooks, Secret Invisible Crown. I'm sending you a link. Get that. Get the ball rolling. Get yourself out of where you are at. You don't have to get it if you don't want to. Stay lost. Peace.